Hi, everybody. I'm Brittany Lewis, a breaking news reporter here at Forbes. Joining me now is Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz, as well as veteran Donald Williams. Both of you, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Both of you tonight will be in attendance at the President Donald Trump's address to a joint session of Congress. So to kick off the conversation, Congresswoman, if you could tell me why you chose Mr. Donald Williams to be your guest, and Donald, if you can tell me what you're expecting out of your experience tonight. So Congresswoman, if we could start with you.
Thank you so much for having us, Brittany. I invited Don Williams, my constituent and neighbor in my hometown of Weston, to join me as my guest at the joint address by President Trump tonight to the nation, because Don really is the exemplary leader and public servant that is so important that we provide support to, rather than the uncertainty and attacks that are coming from Donald Trump and Elon Musk and his DOGE process. Don is a 30-year veteran of the Navy. He now serves in the Social Security Administration as a Social Security employee, serving Social Security beneficiaries. When he came back from, when he ended his service, which he can share with you, he transitioned from military life to civilian life and had challenges dealing with that. But thankfully, the VA was able to really be that safety net for him and help make sure that he could thrive as a civilian. And the cuts, layoffs, the slashing of vital programs that are at the VA to take care of our veterans, to make sure not only that we take care of their health and well-being, but also things like easing their transition back to civilian life are what Donald Trump and Elon Musk are slashing and burning, and that will hurt veterans like Don and hurt our federal employees as well.
And Don, if you could just add what you're looking to get out of your experience tonight, because as you are going to that joint address there tonight, it's President Donald Trump's less than 50 days into office. We've seen a lot of changes. What are you hoping to get out of this?
Well, first of all, I thank the Congresswoman for inviting me as a guest. And I guess what I'm looking forward to getting out of this, I want to hear his plan for veterans. I know that a lot of veterans, have lost their jobs. And I am a veteran coordinator, for all of South Florida. And a lot of them are easy, so I want to provide some inspiration for them. I want to let them know that everything's going to be all right. I want to let them know that the United States is going to take care of their promise that they made to us when we enlisted or re-enlisted, So that's what I'm looking forward to getting out of it, to take something back that will help them.
I first want to obviously thank you for your service. I'm from a family of veterans myself, which I shared with you earlier. And you cannot thank veterans enough for what they sacrificed for our country. And when you're hearing stories of veterans and whose veterans' jobs have been slashed by DOGE and Elon Musk, and when you're hearing stories of even people who voted for Donald Trump 3 times, their jobs have been cut. And I asked one of your colleagues, Congresswoman, I asked Congressman Wesley Hunt, who's also a veteran himself, what does he think about veterans' jobs being cut, Trump voters' jobs being cut? And this is what he told me. Elon Musk even admitted that in this process, he's probably not going to get everything right. I think everyone needs to take a pause and realize that it's going to be tough whenever you have sweeping changes like this. So, Don, to start off with you, when you hear that response, what do you think?
I don't think that goes far enough for a veteran because, we put so much on the line. Me personally, I did 30 years of service. I served in every major conflict from 1989, on everything. I was a part of it. And I feel that I should have more assurance than what I have. That's what was told to me when I enlisted, a long time ago. I was told that if I do everything I was supposed to do, the United States would take care of me once I, separate from the service. So I'm holding my feet firm to that promise. I want that promise delivered to me and all veterans. That's all I want.
And Congresswoman, you're sitting next to your constituent right now. You're hearing this. What can Democrats do in this moment?
Well, we can do things like I'm doing this evening by inviting Don to be my guest at the State of the Union, talking to reporters like you, engaging in public interaction and attention, putting a human face on the horrendous impact that the Trump budget cuts are going to have and are already having on the firings that are taking place that are not only hurting the employees that are being fired, but that are going to result in devastating the services, the biomedical research that we do, the cuts in healthcare, the cuts in services to Social Security beneficiaries, which are also coming, and that this is not just, firing nameless, faceless bureaucrats who, just don't do very much to make life better for all Americans. These are real people, and they are providing service that is taking care of Americans, that are saving lives, and people will die as a result of the dangerous decisions that Trump and Musk are making. And, with all due respect to my colleague, Mr. Hunt, putting a pause on this, as Don said, doesn't go nearly far enough. He should have voted against the budget blueprint last week because we know what's coming. Devastating cuts to Medicaid, devastating cuts at the VA, devastating cuts to healthcare, devastating cuts to education, and the list goes on. And this is all in service to the Republicans wanting to make more room so they can provide bigger tax breaks to millionaires, billionaires, and big corporations. That's what's coming in their reconciliation bill, and that's what it's all about, and it's wrong.
Elon Musk is really the face of DOGE, and I think his involvement in the Trump administration over the past couple of weeks really can't be overstated. He's been in a cabinet meeting. He sat next to Donald Trump in interviews. Time magazine had him on the cover of the magazine behind the Resolute desk. So I'm curious what you both think about Elon Musk and the DOGE initiative as a whole, because when I've talked to members of Congress, they've said everything from it's good to have efficiency, it's good to have outside perspective, to hey, he's really being reckless with his cuts, to Elon Musk is really the shadow president. So I would love both of your thoughts.
Well, I mean, I wish he'd get to know the people, especially the veteran, and know their story besides just cutting them. I feel that, with every cut, especially every veteran, there's a story behind that veteran. And I think if he get to know that veteran, know their story, I think different choices and decisions will be made.
And my feeling is that this is an unelected billionaire who has no lawful authority to make any decisions at all, that is being allowed to run rampaging through people's personal private security information and data at the IRS, in the Social Security Administration, to do with it whatever he wants, and to slash Medicaid, to cut jobs, to undercut investments in vital biomedical research that saves people's lives. And this is all by an unelected billionaire that Trump and MAGA extremists that I serve with in the House of Representatives are allowing to basically devastate people's lives. And their goal is pure and simple. They want to pass a bill that will allow them to provide more tax breaks to millionaires, billionaires, and big corporations, and extend those that they provided in 2017. And the American people are pushing back, to say nothing of the tariffs that Trump just levied. Donald Trump promised that he would lower prices on day one. And instead, what we're going through right now is higher prices in gas and groceries and housing and healthcare. And you saw the stock market plummet today as a result of these really horrendous decisions that are hurting people and our country.
We've seen President Donald Trump in his less than 50 days in office really flood the zone with measures and executive orders on everything from the border and immigration to just last Friday, a really explosive White House meeting with Ukrainian President Zelensky, to just today, as you mentioned, levying tariffs on Canada as well as Mexico, as well as increasing those tariffs on China. So starting trade wars effectively with 3 other countries. He's calling his speech tonight the renewal of the American dream. Senator Alyssa Slotkin will be the Democratic response. What are you both wanting to hear from her?
Oh, well, I trust that my former colleague in the House, Alyssa Slotkin, is going to articulate, particularly from her perspective as a former national security official that Trump's decisions are making us less safe. That he is making life less affordable, not more affordable. His decisions are going to result in more people getting sick, more people dying, and more people really having their lives devastated by these indiscriminate, unlawful cuts, both to jobs and programs that help improve people's lives. And that the only focus that he has is to reward his, billionaire donors and buddies with more and bigger tax breaks. And that's just unacceptable to the American people. And it's a contrast that we are putting a human face on tonight, like I am with my guest, Don Williams. And we just have to make sure that people understand the kind of devastating impact that these decisions are having on real people's lives.
And Don, what about you? What do you want to hear from the Democratic rebuttal tonight?
Like the current lady said, I would like to hear, about veterans, and what's, how she can advocate for veterans and try to get our story across, because this is having devastating effect on veterans, all the ones that I served, just an uneasiness that going around. And just like some of that calm down.
Well, I appreciate both of your time today, and I hope best of luck tonight as you go and experience this address in person. Thank you so much for joining me. You both are welcome back anytime.